Focus, focus, focus. This is not a dream. You are watching Garage Rats on YouTube. Woo! Okay, enough horsing around. Welcome back to the channel. We're back from our little trip. The video was a little late because I ended up editing it after I went on my little trip. So we're back, and we're back in the garage. Last video, we did a little bit of wiring, and we did a little bit of welding, and we showed off the new exhaust and our broken dash that we broke for the 15th time probably. And this episode, we're gonna try and do some more good. I don't remember anything of what I was doing with wiring before I left, other than I needed the boost controller, blinkers, brakes, etc. So I'm hoping maybe we can get some of that together, which is going to require some work. We gotta figure out the gauges and finalize that, so we're good with that. We already got our power ran. We gotta go through what's left in our terms of the wiring of the car, which is reverse lights, brake lights, and signals. That's all that's left in that bunch. And then I would like to play with illumination if we could, but it's not important because it's only gonna dim the cluster. Yeah, we gotta get the dash back in here and wired up. We do need to get the boost controller stuff done, but I don't have all the stuff for that, so we're not even gonna try. We need to get the dash back in. That's kind of the big one. What the hell else and we gotta find a mount for the ECU. We gotta put that somewhere under the dash. So I cut this out of the last video, but we did play around with the stock ECU mounting bracket, which is this guy right here. This normally mounts down on the footwell, but I don't want it in the footwell because that's where people's feet go, and I don't like that. Normally there's a piece of plastic, your interior bits cover that, but I don't have any of that. So we have this piece here. Normally it mounts with these two holes, so there's one there and then the one right where my nose is. Those mount to the car. There's another big one there. I think that has something to do with something. And this bolts to the car, and then the ECU mounts to it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and maybe take the two and mount it against the firewall, and then kind of figure out where the ECU wants to live. But we gotta get the ECU on here first. We're just gonna do some stuff. The other thing we gotta do is we gotta put the exhaust on the car. It's not going to be complete because whatever, but we're going to order. I got to know what to order, so we got to get the exhaust on, and it has enough of a hanger, hopefully, under the car to be able to mount that up and at least have it kind of sit that way, so we could see where it comes out on the bumper. We could see all that stuff. So let's see what we can do in this video. Let's get started. I don't remember how this worked. Like there or up. Alright, we'll have to come back to this because I ain't got an option right now. Obviously we were having mount issues with the ECU. Couldn't get it mounted, so we took it, we made some measurements, whipped up a little bracket, or a design for a bracket, and now we're printing that. So while that prints, we're gonna work on the exhaust, which means we gotta jack the car up, get all the stuff kind of fit under there, and hopefully, I don't know if all the hangers are there. With this, we're gonna get it mounted up there and try and figure out what pieces we're gonna need to order tomorrow for our downpipe. So this will help give us some visual of bends and stuff and what we're gonna need. So let's get it under the car. All right, so she's on the backup on jack stands for a minute, which is kind of nice that we're dealing with exhaust again, because it means we're close. It means we're very close. So we're gonna go drag the exhaust out here, clear out some stuff. I gotta find, there's a nut I lost for one of my vibrant clamp. I lost the nut too, and it's somewhere under the car, I think. Probably won't need this, so we'll just set this on the counter. I don't think we're gonna need that. Race car. Alright, so
we have a couple different things. We got the rear hanger, we got a front hanger, and a mid hanger. So we need to get under there and figure out where all that stuff is. Definitely better than this, what does it say? 3A Racing. I got hangers there. Nothing there. I see the ones for this. Now the question is where's this other hanger? So unfortunately, if you look right here, this is not the right mount for this car. If you look right here, you got a hook right here. That's where that's supposed to connect. Since it's already pretty late here, I can't exactly be cutting on my car without pissing off a bunch of neighbors. So we're going to wait to finish this until tomorrow. And I can also get bushings for the exhaust to final mount this midsection. The good news is we know the orientation now. We know now that that's where the downpipe connects, resonator in the rear, and then loops around the hanger for the midsections in the rear, and then of course the tip. We had to figure out the orientation for this. Now we know. As much as I hate to say it, that's it for tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day. We got some rubber hangers now, so we're gonna go ahead and cut off that doofus bracket, put the exhaust together. Deals should work. It fits decent. Like, this is a repop bumper too, so it did pretty well. Front kind of droops down a little bit, but that's okay because I'm pretty sure the rubbers up front there are worn out, and there's also nothing connected up front. That was the reason for doing this, is so that we can try to figure out how we're going to snake our downpipe under the manifold. So I know we need a 90. We're going to need a 90 off the turbo. We're going to have to come under. Looks like straight down to some degree. So we're going to try and do some angle finding and figure out what we need to order for our downpipe. So I'm going to see if I can get a piece of wire like this will actually work perfect. You know, coming from somebody who watches a lot of YouTube as well as makes YouTube, you learn a trick or two from everybody else who's making cars. Piece of welding wire. And fortunately I've got, now the gauge is small, but I've got a long piece of it. So basically we can use this to try and build our direction, and then we can measure our angles as we need. So I'm gonna go under and kind of do this, and maybe I'll be able to show you. Alright, so the idea of it is something like this. So we come out of the turbo, probably more like a 45, 90 and out, and depending on this length is where how that angle mount is. Now the only
constraint we have is just the trans mount's about right here. So it's gotta go over the trans mount and down. And then from there you got a mile, you know, of clearance. The 135 is 90 plus 45. So it's about a 130-degree angle from turbo down. So you go out of the turbo at 90, straight 130 down, and then out. Sometimes they make specific angles, like they definitely have an elbow that's shaped similar. This, okay, so it's a 45, which would be, it's 5 degrees off. So you can compensate for that by starting your bend earlier, kinda, or even just kind of pie cutting out a section of that one, of that 45, because we need like a 40 is what it is. That's like a, basically like a, it's just over 90. What they're calculating for your 45 is not necessarily the open area or the part, this area. What they're doing is they're measuring if this went straight, what's the difference. So a 45 is like right here. What we need is like a 50. They do make 60s. 60s pretty common. It's a little bit much. I think we're gonna go with a 45 for this one, 90 here, and then we'll just have to figure it out if we have to, you know, cut it in half at different intervals. That's why we have the miter saw. So, but basically, this is the shape that we're going for, is something like this. So it comes out the turbo at a slant, comes down, makes some sub 90 bend, and then a 90 out towards the downpipe. So that's our shape. So we're going to order 290s for 45, and I needed a way to adapt it from 2.5 to 3 inch. I already have my flange up here. I need the flange for the back, and oh, a V-band. I need a V-band. So there you go. That's how you. That's a basic way of calculating your downpipeness. All right, switching gears for a moment. The our ECU mount that we made didn't really fit anywhere that I liked. I was thinking like down here, but I don't want it to be kickable. I don't want it to be visible, and I kind of want it here. I kind of want it to bolt up to these. There's 2 posts right there. So I kind of figured that's a good reference point. But I'm gonna get it lower, like here. And I think the ECU will bolt up there just fine, but I think I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna turn the ECU that way, and then do that number. Let me know what you guys think about mounting the ECU. I don't know what to do about it, because this piece took like 8 hours to print, and it's a pretty sweet piece because it's got like our GR logo on it. But I don't know, I'm kind of running out of ideas for that. So I really would like to just put it in the glove box like everybody else does that doesn't run it in the stock location. The problem is it doesn't really reach, and my glove box is obliterated on the dash side because my dash is 1,000 years old. So I can't really put it in the glove box. So back to the drawing board. Let me know what you think about mounting locations. That's probably gonna do it for this video. I know there's not a lot going on, but I'm trying to be a little bit more regular. So I'm gonna get all my crap back inside. It's getting late. I'm gonna edit this and get it out for you guys. And yeah, life will be great. Watch out.